Hello students, welcome back to the e-session of Rural Marketing. I'm Assistant Professor Hardik Solanki, associated with LJ Integrated MBA. In our first module, we have discussed about the rural sector in India, rural market and rural marketing, and rural infrastructure and APMC. Now let's start with the second module with discussing rural consumer behavior and factors affecting to it. Starting with the consumer behavior. Consumer behavior, it is the study of how individual consumer groups or organizations select, buy, use and dispose ideas, goods and services to satisfy their needs and wants. It refers to the actions of the consumers in the marketplace and the underlying motives for these actions. Marketers expect that by understanding what causes the consumer to buy particular goods and services, they will be able to determine which products are needed in the marketplace and how best to present the goods to the consumers. We are starting with the characteristics of rural consumer, which is very different to the urban consumers. Rural consumers believe in trust and government endorsed agencies. They depend on opinion leaders or knowledge heads to get the proper information. They are conservative in nature. The habits once formed, it is very difficult to change. They exhibit collective consumer behavior rather than individual decision. They have strong cultural values and norms as compared to the urban consumers. They feel pride to get a good deal rather than pay premium price. They are more brand loyal in some case. In rural consumers, women occupy a traditional place, so no enough rights to choose the product and services. They take a family decision rather than the individual decision. They have a great association with bold colors. In rural consumers, we can find the low income levels, and that's why they are not able to spend more. So the disposable income is very low. Let's discuss the factors affecting to consumer behavior, which is divided in main four factors. First is cultural factors. Culture, subculture and social classes are particularly important influences on consumer buying behavior. What is culture? Culture is the most fundamental determinant of a person's wants and behavior. A child growing up is exposed to these broad cultural values. Achievements and success, activities, efficiency and practicality, progress, material comfort, individualism, freedom, external comfort and youthfulness. For example, Namaste sign in India and bow down to elders. That is the very cultural factor of India which influences each and everyone. Subculture. Each culture consists of smaller subculture that provides more specific identification and socialization for their members. Subculture includes nationalities, religions, and racial groups and geographical regions. For example, in Gujarat, Kathiawadi prefers Fafda and Gathia, whereas in Kutchi people prefer Dabeli, but in Maharashtra, Mumbaikars are preferring Vada Pav. Social class. These are relatively homogeneous and enduring divisions in a society. They are hierarchically ordered and their members share similar values, interests and behavior. Social classes reflect income as well as occupation, education and other indicators. Social class is indicated by a cluster of variables rather than by any single variable. Social classes often show distinct product and brand preferences. Second, social factors. In addition to cultural factors, a consumer's behavior is influenced by such social factors such as reference groups, family, and social roles and statuses. Reference groups consist of all the groups that have a direct or indirect influences on a person's attitude or behavior. Groups that have a direct influences on a person are called membership groups. People are also influenced by groups to which they do not belong. Aspirational groups are those the person hopes to join, and dissociative groups are those whose values or behavior an individual rejects every time. Family. The family is the most important consumer buying organization in society, and it has been researched extensively. The family of orientation consists of one's parents and siblings. From parents, a people or a person acquires an orientation towards religion, politics, and economics, as well as sense of personal attention, self-worth, and love. Roles and statuses. A person participates in many groups such as family, clubs, or organizations. The person's position in each group can be defined in terms of role and status. A role consists of activities that a person is expected to perform. Each role carries a status. For example, in rural area, sarpanch, or in urban area, a professor or a mayor. Personal factors. The third factor is personal characteristics, including the buyer's age, stage in the life cycle, occupation, economic circumstances, lifestyle, personality, and self-concept. Age and stage in the life cycle. People buy different products and services as per their age and stage of life cycle. In initial stage, they eat baby food in the early years, most food in the growing and mature years, and special diets in the later years. Taste in clothes, furniture, and recreation is also age related, which is why smart marketers are attentive to the influence of age. Occupation and economic circumstances. Occupation also influences a person's consumption pattern. For example, rural youth stitches clothes from the tailor, and the urban youth prefer ready-made clothes or branded clothes. Lifestyle. People from the same subculture, social class, and occupation may actually lead quite different lifestyle. A lifestyle is person's pattern of living in the world as expressed in the activities, interests, and opinions. Lifestyle portrays the whole person interacting with his or her environment. Personality and self-concept. Each person has a distinct personality that influences buying behavior. Personality refers to the distinguishing psychological characteristics that lead to relatively consistent and enduring responses to the environment. Personality is generally described in terms of such traits as self-confidence, dominance, autonomy, difference, sociability, distinctiveness, defensiveness, and adaptability. Self-concept or self-image related to personality. For example, in rural areas, people prefer pan masala, but in urban areas, people prefer popcorn. Now we are discussing psychological factor. Psychological factors are the fourth main influences on consumer buying behavior, in addition to cultural, social, and personal factors. In general, a person's buying choices are influenced by the psychological factors of motivation, perception, learning, beliefs, and attitudes. Motivation. A person has many needs at any given time. Such needs are biogenic. They arise from physiological state of tension, such as hunger, thirst, discomfort. Other needs are psychogenic. They arise from the psychological state of tension, such as the need for recognition, esteem, or belonging. A need becomes a motive when it is aroused to the sufficient level of intensity. A motive is a need that is sufficiently pressing to drive the person to act. Perception. A motivated person is ready to act, yet how that person actually acts in is influenced by his or her perception. Perception is the process by which an individual selects, organizes, and interprets information input to create a meaningful picture to the world. Now we are going to discuss about the learning. When people act, they learn. Learning involves changes in the individual's behavior and arise from the experience. Most human behavior is learned. Applying learning theory, marketers can build up demand for a product by associating it with strong drives, using motivating cues and providing positive reinforcement. Beliefs and attitude. Through doing and learning, people acquire belief and attitudes that in turn influences buying behavior. A belief is a descriptive thought that a person holds about something. Beliefs may be based on knowledge, opinion, or faith, and they may or may not carry on emotional change. These beliefs make up product and brand images, and people act on their images. Attitudes are just as important as belief for influencing buying behavior. An attitude is a person's enduring favorable or unfavorable evolutions, emotional feeling, and actions, tendencies towards some object or ideas. People have attitudes toward almost everything: religion, politics, clothes, music, and food. Attitudes put them into a frame of mind for liking or disliking an object, moving towards or away from it. In next session, we are going to discuss about the buying process. Thank you.